It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org.
As you can see, you would say that I was late. But it's never about how late you are, but the presence you make. And as you make that presence, make sure you come correct about it. You see, I know I missed out on it, but I'm back with a vengeance. I am back because I created this whole thing. From the mini bites, to the power play, to the cycling, to J360 Radio Live, aka the Uncut Show, in J360 Jams. But there's a one show that you go back to. There's that one show that started it all and has no signs of stopping now. Welcome to the J-Man Show here on J360 Radio.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey, what's going on, J360 Legion? Welcome to the J-Man Show. I am your host, J-Man, of course. Man, you gotta admit, I will hype up the whole crowd, and not only that, it feels good to do so. Here for episode 156, I take it. You should be, because that's where we are in the number line, after all. So, I hope you're all doing fine. I noticed that it was a little late, but, I had that mini bite just right there and ready for you yesterday. Well, actually, yesterday going into today, because I was really knocked out, man. I was working on a bunch of things for the branding and all, and I have the website together where I want it. So things are going to be looking pretty good from here on out the next couple of days. Just been really busy with it. Because, you always want to maintain your image, and you always want to go ahead and keep your presence together. And indeed, I do that a lot. Especially with this. Which reminds me, I need to go ahead and get some more neon lights around here. Man, my electric bill is going to be fat these next couple of months. But it is what it is. I mean, hell, I can only imagine what'll happen once I'm moved out of Delaware. But, yeah, I think a good friend of mine, Victor, said this. He said, the only thing you going to be seeing is high rent. Yeah, you might be right, but let me tell you this, okay? And if I've taught any of you anything throughout any of these episodes and any of these seasons, there's times to be cheap, and then there's times to go for what you want. And J-Man's been busting his ass for so long, he's going for what he wants. Now, I might not get an 8-bedroom house and, 4 bathrooms, because that's just stupid. But, the thing is this. It's going to be something sensible. It's going to be something reasonable. And, the lucrative career that comes about it all. After all, you're listening to some of it right now. But, I have a lot of extensive goals and plans for myself, and I always did. You know what I mean? Like that whole listing I have and that whole vision board I have over here. Not to mention the scripts that I have laying around. Like I said, this one way or another, I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. And I never feel guilty about it. Because guess what? There's room for a lot of people out there who are willing to take it to that next level. You understand what I'm saying? And currently I am sitting here with my Black Lives Matter t-shirt on because we do matter. One way or another, hey, any of you out there that are confused about this one way or another, Black lives do matter. And you know, like, everybody knows that all lives matter, but the truth is Black lives matter a lot. And they're not hunting certain people. And I'm going to say that because for some reason, people are so scared of that term. You know, here's the thing. I got nothing to be ashamed or afraid of. If things were working right and if accountability was in play instead of immunity and all sorts of protection on that buddy system over there in the Blue Lives camp, it probably wouldn't be so bad. You know what I mean? If things actually function the way they did. However, there are some cities out there that have not necessarily defunded their police, but disbanded their police entirely. I think that is a little extreme. You know what I'm saying? Because there are real criminals out here. There are real people out here that have blurred and sabotaged this in so many ways. You get my meaning? I mean, not too long ago, I saw a video where protesters, or assumingly they were protesters, were chasing this seemingly innocent man. And one of them had a skateboard and a knife and just tried to clobber the guy with a skateboard. And I don't know if you noticed this, but getting hit with a skateboard hurts. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a fun feeling. Especially when it's flat wood and then you got the wheels and oh man, it's just the whole thing that connects the wheels. It's like, I haven't skated in a long time, so forgive me if I'm messing that up. But the thing is this. Anytime you're coming at somebody with that, it's pretty much a weapon at that point. But you see, before I could say anything about defending the poor chap that ran, he pulled out his gun and he capped the bastard 4 times. Scared all the other ones off, but he definitely got the guy who was attacking him. And the dude had a knife. All because the guy didn't even want to be a part of the, of the whole protest. He was trying to leave. Look, here's how it goes, right? When people march with you and they unite with you, that's one thing. But when they want to break away or they're tired and stuff like that, let them go ahead and let them leave, man. I understand strength in numbers, but are you that desperate to not be alone after a while? Like, I'm going to tell you this. J-Man fights in a group and by himself. Kind of got that whole Wolverine Raphael thing going on. And you see, the thing is, if you don't believe me, ask Mondo. But the truth is like, it's just one way or another. We got to keep fighting for the good fight, and we got to make sure we have a proper end game in play. And see, some of y'all were crazy enough to donate money to certain companies out here that would happily rip you off. And they would take that donation money and fund it through, their administrative costs. It's the same old thing that happens every damn time we try to unite on that. You know what I mean? It happened when Haiti had their whole issue going on. Brazil had their issue going on. And these were natural disasters, mind you, but they never saw that money. Now, I'm wondering how many different outlets seen the money that was donated to them at the height of this recent Black Lives Matter movement. You know what I mean? I got questions about a lot of things, and I always wonder this, like where we go as a country. You would hope that we go forward. You would hope that we move up. And I know some of y'all are probably tuned out because you've probably seen MSNBC, CNN, whoever. Let's just say it. Fox. Some of you watch Fox News. I know you do. It is the best comedy act going. Because those people over there, one way or another, they can see all this happening, but they will still try to find and reach for any fallacy that they can throw out there to twist it around on you. And granted, the other networks do it too, because, hey, you don't want to feed into somebody's peace of mind. You want to feed into their insecurities. You want to find a way to keep them invested to the point where, they can no longer think for themselves because you planted a seed that indoctrinated them to whatever the BS you're selling in the evening is. You see it on the 6 o'clock news. You see it on the 11 o'clock news. Hell, you see it on the early 6 o'clock news. And then if you're one of the people that are hawking and sitting right there the whole time, well, no wonder you're scared out of your wits, right? You gotta be careful what you consume. I say that all the time. I'm working in media, for goodness sakes. I know. You're going to have to learn how to just look at this stuff and say, you know what? Enough's enough. I'm out. Tapped out. The only problem is that people are taking bits and pieces of our history right now. I mean, granted, they're removing parts of the Confederacy. Granted, they're going ahead and they're saying, that's racist. I don't want that around. Like Gone with the Wind, for instance. Yep, after all this damn time. That movie used to be shown during the holiday season and usually during, I want to say about summer or spring, something like that. It was on AMC. It used to be their special all the time. Because at one time, you used to get Wizard of Oz around Christmas. So, yeah, I get them mixed up. But the thing is, you used to see that too, because for its time, it was a genuine article film. But a lot of people now have realized it has racist connotations to it. I mean, granted, the movie took place during the damn Civil War. What do you expect? But, at the end of the day, yeah. The hell with all that, right? It's still a racist movie. Like Song of the South. Yeah, that's a racist movie too, right? Even though Uncle Zemus is just walking through the plantation. He's free, by the way, but he's walking through there and he's singing zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Mr. Bluebird's on my shoulder. And it's the truth. It's actual. Everything is satisfactual. Yeah, take it. Yeah, see, the thing is, I know that song. And a lot of you also know that song. But then again, you got to realize this. Where do you think the Splash Mountain ride came from? Yeah, you ever go on that Splash Mountain ride and you go up there and you see all those cartoon characters, but you can't remember the movie where they came from because the movie's still backlogged and has a horrible history to it? Quite a lot of things in this country have a horrible history when it comes to, race relations. And it's so sad that we're just now catching up on it. Don't worry, though. I'm sure it'll get re-released eventually, and we'll have one of those true down-to-earth leftist people pop up on there and happily say, yeah, this was horrible for its time then, and it's horrible now. And the thing is, it's very racist. But don't you be racist about it. And you want to know how I know that, right? See, I collect animation on the side. And the thing is, whenever I try to watch Tom and Jerry or I try to watch Droopy or something, and there's moments where they're in blackface and all that kind of, it gets edited out. That's why I went ahead and made sure I got the uncut versions so that I know exactly what's going down. You see what I'm saying? That's why, like, when you watch it on repeat and stuff like that, the cartoons seem a little shorter because they don't cut certain things out. Same thing with the recent Looney Tunes show that's going to appear, or probably has appeared by now, on HBO Max. Yeah, it has Dynamite in it, but they went ahead and disarmed Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam. And one's a hunter. So what exactly is he going to hunt with now? I mean, hell, you know what? Why don't we just give him a crossbow while we're at it? Yeah, because, a crossbow is, while at the same time it's a little slower than a gun, it's still pretty damn deadly if you know how to use it. I mean, you know what I mean? Hell, while you're at it, some people forget a damn slingshot can be pretty deadly. But I don't want to give any ideas. But you see, the thing is, you already got the violence there. What we ought to do as people, and I mean as really responsible people, we need to just have the talk with the young folk. And when you have talk with the young folk, just remember that everything is not Lucky Charms, okay? Everything is not exactly 100% nice and all that good I almost cussed. All that good stuff. You see what I'm saying? One way or another, they need to know that it can get pretty cold out here. It can get pretty real. And, sometimes, see, I learned at a pretty early age. I want to say, middle school things really changed. But, it's one of those things. I mean, you're going to get your wake-up call one way or another. Especially if you're growing up in these troublesome times. And you see, the thing is, even though things are troublesome, it doesn't mean we can't have good moments in between. It doesn't mean that we can't be comical. Oh, yeah, see, some people like that whole comedy J-Man stuff. Some people like that whole, J-Man runs with a football or basketball, or J-Man's playing jazz music, or, you know what I'm saying? Outside of those connotations, I still have a lot to say. And you see, I'm speaking about the history of things right now. history is hard to talk about. That's why we take bits and pieces of it to try to, throw at people. Like, I've told you about, like, how some things get painted up to make us look like heroes, even though there's sometimes you look at it and you're like, yeah, we are heroes in a way, but we have a lot of problems when it comes to the Call of Duty of things. You see, like, different circumstances. I already talked to you about the World Wars. I'm not doing that for this one. This one right now is about, race relations at best. And some people are afraid of integration. Did you know that in this modern time, people were calling for modern segregation because they feel like they can't come together on those terms? Pretty damn scary. By doing that kind of stuff, you are insulting Thurgood Marshall and quite a lot of other strong, powerful black people who were part of the civil rights movement that made it so for things to come together. And I'm not going to even mention, the two you know about. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody's been going ahead and taking their arguments and taking them out of tone. You know what I'm saying? It was for during their time. But if you really want the dream to succeed, I think you need to get the hell over yourself and try for it. And you see, the thing is, racism, while small dick behavior, hell, hey, even small dick, man, it's micro. Actually, no, it's not even micro. It's minuscule. Matter of fact, it's non-existent. You know balls having so-and-so. You see, when you get right down to it, it's learned behavior at worst. That's all it is. And you could unlearn that stuff if you really took the time. But there are people out there that are not about it. And they do what they can to sabotage this stuff. But you see, we the people that are united, we the people that actually want things to change and are about love and all about pushing forward. And I really mean, I hope you are about this, because this is probably the last time I say it. We got to keep fighting to make sure it doesn't happen. You see what I'm saying? We got to make sure that all that racial strife, all that systemic racism, all that separate but equal nonsense, all that stuff doesn't come back. We are going to have to bury it, and we're going to have to bury it deep. And I mean deep this time. Not lightly just throw asphalt on it and say, job well done. No. We did that, and that's why we're here now. You see what I'm saying? You got to fight the good fight, but at the end of the time, you got to know what the end game is. And then you have to make sure, like, it don't come back. But there are people out there who revel in this crap, love this crap, and will happily go ahead and, unearth it from its ugly domains. And it hasn't really changed much since we had, old boy up in office either. And even though you can go ahead and defend him if you want to, he's got his base out there. He got his people out there defending him to say all these things, as it is. But I only let y'all know that because, well, I'm J-Man. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. But at the same time, I'm not gonna go and roll over, cower in the night, and say, "Yeah, we done kneeling," like a certain big name in the black community does. Which, by the way, remember when I said, be aware of what you consume? Black people, stop consuming that crap. You know what I'm saying? Certain things you're going to have to look at and be like, you know what? Yeah, I don't think I'm buying this stuff anymore. I think, if anything, I'm going to go ahead and support my own businesses and stuff. I think I'm going to go ahead and support, certain content creators out there. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. But here's the thing about that, though. I've said that on a mini bite before. Don't just support them because they're black. Support them because they're a part of your community. Support them because you know they're working hard for it. Support them because they have a plan and all they need is money. And those that actually get that money, this is what you do with it. Use it for what was intended to be used. Now, some of y'all just like to do that con game crap. Y'all doing that con game, blanket company BS, man, out of here. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you real entrepreneurs out there. I'm talking to you entrepreneurs that are like me. When you know you're busting your ass out there as an essential worker. Yeah, they're still running around with that rhetoric too. I haven't forgotten about that either. When you know damn well you need those investments. You need all that stuff on the table. Why do you think I'm working on rebuilding everything right now? Because I know I need it. And I know it's going to be used for the right reasons. Because one way or another, if I work that day job, don't you think I have my own damn money? But at the same time, you realize the growth of capital on the other side is going to help the business that I'm building grow. And then all sorts of other side hustles I got lying around. You see what I mean? Because one way or another, I'm about the work, brother. And I'm also about those end results. And one way or another, I'll be okay. But I want J360 Productions to grow and succeed, so I stay on it. Me, you know what I mean? And then, truth be told, some of you all out there still wonder how to get involved in this thing. And then some of y'all are starting to speak up. Because not everybody's out there that's against everything. I mean, some of us want that normalcy. Some of us want to be back to where we were complaining about movies, where we were looking at, when's our next vacations and all, and, just to get away from it. Nothing wrong with escapism, but after a while you'll realize you have to pull yourself together and you have to fight. You have to go ahead and do all this stuff all the time. You want peace, you better be prepared to go to war. And I didn't say go to war overseas. I mean, right out here in your own neighborhood. Because there's always an a-hole there somewhere. Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of which, I got an example for you, all right? I pretty much do. But let's have a little history lesson on this. Juneteenth, that's tomorrow. You can consider this Juneteenth Eve. But you know what it's about, right? Some say it's the day of slavery being abolished. It is to a point because after it, all slaves are considered free. But really, it's about the abolishment of slavery in the last remaining state that had slaves. And that was good old Texas. I love Texas. I love Texas atmosphere. I don't like the Dallas Cowboys. So if anybody out there who really, really said, hey, Jay, you said you love Texas, y'all can have that other crap. But I love Texas, and it's the home of a lot of friends and family I got out there. Texas is just beautiful, man. Beautiful countryside, too. But it had a history of not following along. And you see, the Union didn't have a huge presence over there, so that's why it took so long to free the slaves. But on that day, though, it's an official day over there, too, obviously, because it happened over there. But you see, once it did happen, slavery was no more. No more, it wasn't legal anymore. But then, of course, you also had Jim Crow and white people just coming up harassing black folks, throwing them in jail, doing what they can. Some trying to keep slaves, even though they're not supposed to. There's a horrible history to this side of it, obviously, because it's the history that nobody wants to talk about. But at the same time, though, that's why it was very important. And now a lot of people are starting to recognize what Juneteenth is. And some businesses are jumping on it. They're calling out systemic racism. I mean, that's cool. Like I said, once again, there's a problem out there, but if you shine a light on it, you gave it its attention, but then you still got to realize what the end result's going to be. And I hope systemic racism goes away. I don't like to be redlined about anything. At all. If you get my meaning. But, let's see, where else was I going? Oh, yeah. I know where I was going. Did you know that the Emancipation Proclamation had freed slaves formally 2.5 years earlier? And even the Civil War ended with the defeat of the Confederate States. But Texas was the most remote. So, it was slow and inconsistent for that. But this is supposed to mark Actually, no. Yeah, this was supposed to end the last day of slavery for slaves in Texas. But slavery did not officially end until the ratification of the 13th Amendment on December 6th, 1865, which abolished slavery entirely of all states and territories. Okay, well, yeah, see? That totally made sense. Right, so one way or another, it's recognized as a state holiday. They're trying to campaign it for it. I know that some businesses are not going to be open tomorrow. I know Target and Best Buy are two of them around here. Well, Target's going to be on the side of the black folks for a long time because you know why? You know why. Got his ass kicked in Minnesota, that's why. Damn, man. I mean, like, a lot of people were saying, why are they doing it? Why are they doing it? And it's like, well, you realize it's a big box business. And as a man who works for one of those big box supermarkets, it had it coming. It had it coming. Shoot, I'm ready for something to break out in mine, to be honest with you. You know, it's just, people are so stupid. Matter of fact, we had an incident around here. Somebody defaced the mural that was dedicated to the fallen DSP, Delaware State Police officers, and had Black Lives Matter still written on it and everything. But what I didn't know when I reported this on that mini bite last time, some of those people took the time to urinate on the Delaware State flags. That's hateful. I'm telling you, man, like, honestly, let me think about the Delaware State flag for a minute. I always liked it. I thought it was beautiful, but the thing is, whew, that's really going to get some attention right there. By just going ahead, taking the flag, and say, you know what? I just drunk a big box of high C, and I think I'm going to go ahead and just do Lou right here. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Sorry for the sound effects. It's inappropriate, but at the same time, it's damn funny. Yeah, so, I mean, you're doing yellow streams on the state flag to go ahead and prove a point. And, man, did they. I remember this, though. They also took down a statue of our renowned hero, the one who actually took the trip to go ratify the Constitution, Caesar Rodney. So we're not going to be dealing with Caesar Rodney's ride anymore. Which is crazy because, I mean, he was always there at Market Square. I mean, you see him every time you go there, but he's not there anymore because he owns slaves. And then you realize that the John Dickinson plantation is still over there on the other side, too. So, well, allegedly, ain't nobody going to fool with that. Allegedly, it's haunted. I can see it now. They'd be all like this. But then again, you know, Paul Mooney had a thing that said, like, ghosts aren't real because if they were all the slaves coming back to beat the crap out of white? Oh, my God. I love Paul Mooney. Yeah, look, man, I don't think that rumor about him is true, and I haven't heard anything else about it since. But if you know anything, you know, drop a line to J-Man about it, all right? Keep me in the loop sometime. After all, you know, community. But you see, sometimes I sit there and I look at this historical fact here, you know, modern observance and stuff. Like, everybody's going to be having a good time except for me. I got to go to work. Apparently, the company I work for did not get the menu that, you know, places are recognizing Juneteenth and closing them down so that they can be observed and celebrated. But, no. J-Man's not that lucky. If there's one thing I ought to do, I wonder how much PTO time I got. Little things like that, you know? I don't know. There's always next year, I guess. But then again, I won't be working at that place next year anyway, so I'm not worried about it. But I just think it's interesting how we're all starting to look at this history and we're starting to learn it. Now, this is a little controversial now. But when you take down Confederate pictures and you go ahead and you try to do what you can to block out the Confederacy, just remember, it's that part of the history that unfortunately you got to keep around. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunately that history that you need to be aware of because, you know, who you fighting against. It's just as bad as like when you're looking at World War II, right? And people are afraid to show the Nazi symbol. You got to see that. Because, see, the thing is, even over there in Germany, they banned it. And with good reason. But over here, you know, we show that all the time to show, like, our imperialism and how we stomp the bad guys. But then you're like this, you know, you got to really know your history. You got to know all the good and you got to know all the bad. And when you know all the good and the bad, you never let the bad prosper, you know? You're doomed to repeat it if you did not learn it. And you see, that's my thing about the Confederate flag sometimes. A lot of people are saying we should ban it. We should get rid of it. It should never even be a thing. Well, look, it's already a flag of losers. I noticed that a lot of people say, this is about my Southern pride. Jeez. Your Southern pride should be your state flag or sweet tea or something that, or gathering of friends and family. And not only just the friends and family you're comfortable with, but, be inclusive. You know what I mean? Like unite people, not alienate people, especially when it comes to black, sweet caramel skin like mine. Especially when I put the Bath and Body Works on it, But yeah, there's ways to show your Southern pride. It's called Southern hospitality. Technically, I'm a Southern gentleman, so I kind of know. But you see, it just gets pretty weird the way people go about it now. And some of y'all are probably mad as hell as I go about saying these things, but you don't really need, the Confederate flag to do such a thing. Now, I'm not saying we should blur it out entirely. We should keep an eye on that crap. But why the hell would you sell it as a souvenir or anything? I mean, like I said, it's a losing symbol. They lost. You know what I mean? Union came in and kicked the living crap out of them. Not saying that the Union were entirely on the side of the blacks. If y'all only knew about the Reconstruction period, man. Hope some of y'all know. But it was there. You know what I mean? A little unity, a little fighting here. After a while, you'll sit there and you'll be like this. Huh. I mean, really take the time to know all the pieces. Kim Burns got a few good documentaries up. They're on Netflix, by the way. I've also noticed this. Are people really about the unity of black culture, or are they really about taking and exploiting it? That's another question I have. You see what I'm saying? Because I've noticed that Juwanna Man is on Netflix. I've noticed that Juwanna Man wasn't a top sell, but it was no different than Tootsie, if you think about it. But I remember seeing it, and everybody was like, "It's a tired premise. It's not that good." Even though it's gotten some great direction now. They got How High too. They got certain other African American movies that are sitting right here that they get shown one time on BET, but now there's access for a point for it, and they're like, "Yeah, check out these black stories and everything," and that's cool. You should look at it. But at the same time, I'm sitting there thinking this. I'm hoping that, because they always say this, we need to be more inclusive. We need to be more inclusive. But I'm hoping that once again, this stuff is being seen for the art. It's being seen for the story. It's being seen for, a conversation that you probably don't have in your house. You know what I mean? As a black filmmaker, I wonder that all the time when I'm about to put the pen to paper here. You know what I mean? It's like, I always ask that question because I don't want this stuff to be misconstrued or sent through the wrong, to the wrong hands, or somebody with the wrong mindset and said, "Oh, well, we have to sell to the audience." Not with a stereotype, you don't. There's a lot of different ways you can go about this. I've yet to see Jungle Fever on Netflix, but I'm sure that's coming next month. I know they got Juice on there, and Tupac Shakur just had a birthday. But then you wonder if he's really dead, because no, actually he's never gonna die. His music will live forever. His acting will live forever. But that man releases an album every year, man. It's like, huh. The same thing with Biggie. But I can go into that kind of music and deal with that debate at another time. Probably save it for J360 Jams. That's coming soon. But it's just a very interesting time. However, much like you, I'm gonna ride this out. I mean, there's a lot of optimism here. There's a lot of ground for growth. However, you got to keep an eye on people who want to regress, because there's a lot of people that are like, you know what? I just can't take it no more. I think the narrative is gone bad. It's going to ruin everything. No. I got to go back to my comfort zone. Status quo. You want to know how I know that? Because I seen somebody at the day job acting that way. And you see, it's usually because, once again, they're comfortable in their way. And then when something comes along, disrupts that comfort zone, all I got to do is hit it in the right spot. And I guarantee they'll break out in hives before you and I will. And we'll just look at that with a raised eyebrow and a phone and put that crap on YouTube because we need the likes and views. Well, granted, I'm not going to do it, but, I'm sure some of y'all just have that plan because people are just acting foolish nowadays. I mean, you really, really got to be safe because they just lost their damn minds. And it's the election year, too. So I can't wait to see what happens in November now because people are already half-cocked and we're only 6 months in. You realize that we're only 6 months in 2020. Ah, damn! Oh, God. Oh, where are we going to go? Hopefully up and become better people. Of course, the community I'm a part of, I mean, we're usually all right. Like, ain't nothing too rough going on. But, I want us to give a couple of shout-outs before I go. Let's see. Shout-outs to the Wafflecast. Shout-outs to Jay and Lucifer podcast. Shout-outs to Cult 45 podcast, Home Video Hustle, Blackout podcast, Kung Fu Drive-In, Super Movie Bros, and let's see, Epic Film Guys, so on and so forth. And damn, it's something. Whenever I'm working on this thing, a damn screensaver pops up and just blacks out everything for a little while. It's like, come on, man, not now. But yeah, it's just like, actually, shout outs to all content creators and what they do. Even the ones on OnlyFans. Because those are some nice, fine I'll keep it to myself on that one. Other than that, though, this is the J-Man signing off. That's all I got for y'all right now. Stay tuned for some new stuff to be happening on the J360 website throughout Juneteenth. I will catch you all later. And thank you for winning. Peace.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.